Greetings, family. It is yours truly, Amari. I am the CEO of Synergetic Network Group, LLC, where we are your community liaison for entrepreneurs and consumers. My queen, Amari, is the executive director. And what we do is we focus on helping families to build wealth via business and investing. How do we do this? We do this by bringing on subject matter experts in those arenas that will help to empower you. For those of you who have a business, if you'll be so kind to share your business in a comment block, please let us know what city and state that you're tuning in from. That'll be great. Remember, family, nobody can buy a product or purchase a service that they don't know anything about. So make sure you take advantage of this moment, because this is an opportunity for you to be able to advertise your business. And so we can also know about you, so we can expose you to more people. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help you. Our attitude is servitude. On the platform SNG highlight on tonight, I have one T's in the building. That's right. A king amongst kings. A Lord taking dominion, being the Lord of his land. That's right. Him and his beautiful queen taking authority, man. I have author and speaker Reginald Orr in the building.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Hey, how you doing, King?
How you doing?
Hey, all is well, man. All is well. Well, family, you are in for a treat on this evening. Again, this is a king who I met, if I'm not mistaken, approximately 2 years ago.
Yeah, we're coming up on 2 years. Yeah.
About 2 years ago, man. And this brother, he had driven approximately 4 hours, if I'm not mistaken, from Kissimmee.
Yeah. Yes. Lakeland.
Okay, late.
So yeah, probably like 2 hours and some change.
Man, I tell you what, it was definitely humbling to be able to have you come into our presence, man, and to drive that far, and then accompanying you, a couple more brothers you brought along with you.
Yeah.
You know, on that day. You know what I'm saying? I was like, who's these kings?
Yeah, one of them we still cool with, and he's actually actually friends with you. Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. It was certainly a pleasure to be able to build with you kings, man, because as you know so well, brother Reginald, you know, and we're going to get to it, man. I want people to get it while it's hot.
Drop it like it's
as
hot.
My Baba would say, peace and blessings be upon him. My Baba Eddie Gilliard Sr., who was also a king who took dominion in the community, who served his family and community well, man. You know, so he said, get it while it's hot. I love him dearly, man. You know, very fortunate to have elders like that in my life to help to mold me and to shape me, and to be able to help me to be a king taking dominion in the community, and to go about doing good. Right. You know, so we were going to talk about that on today, because, you know, you driven such a long distance just to sit down and to receive mentorship. And that was very commendable to me, because, you know, most men don't have that type of humility. Right. You know, to be able to go to a brother and say, hey, man, you know, I need you to guide me because I'm going in the wrong direction. Or either I know there's another level and I believe that you're a brother who can help me to get there, man. So, you know, let's talk about that very briefly before we get into your book called Tailor for Success. You know, that is touching so many lives. It's hot, straight off the press. Yes. It is germinating throughout the community. I'm seeing photos, I'm seeing interviews. Man, I'm telling you, it is actually impacting people's lives and helping people to transform their life and to go to another level. I'm seeing the videos with you and your queen, and you and her just are, you know, serving the community and helping people to transform their lives and to just live victorious, man. So talk to us, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me on again.
You're welcome.
You already know the motto. It's always a treat when great people meet. Um, you had asked the
Indeed.
importance of mentorship. You know, sometimes you got to believe in somebody else believe in you until you can believe for yourself. And
That's right.
Moses told God, "Teach me your way." If you was in this situation, you know, how would you get through this? What techniques, what strategies, what direction would you lead me to go? So the importance of it is, you know, I was in a very, very chaotic state, 8 years, you know, giving life to a company that wasn't giving life back to me, and was mentally and spiritually and physically about dead, you know what I'm saying? But
Wow.
um ran into I ran into you, and you know, it ignited a fire. You know what I'm saying?
All
And
praises be.
it's
Give
like I
thanks.
said the other day. You know, a sleeping giant. You know, you only know how great you are when you see somebody else being great, and they're not
Mm,
afraid to tell you that you are great. You know, without
hmm
being
And that you are,
intimidated.
my brother. That
Yeah,
you are.
and you
I've
know,
seen you become greater.
man, I appreciate that.
You know it, man.
But
And I seen that queen boy help you to even become even greater.
man,
You got a
multiplicity.
little bit more pep in your step, bro.
Man, you
Got a
tell
little
by
bit
the way I
more,
walk.
a little bit more, glow to you,
Already, yeah. And that's very important too. Relationships, you know, your home's supposed to be a haven of peace, and if you can't find that peace,
Yes, indeed. I want to send a shout out to my sister, Queen Tammy Marie, in the building.
what's happening? What's happening? God is make it shine, make it rain.
Go ahead and say it. Make me
Hey,
know
make
it.
me know it. Make me know it. Good to see you. Good to see you. Feel the energy already. It's electrifying. You know what I
Yes,
mean? So,
indeed, man. Women, their energy takes us to another level, man. My queen, when she in my life, because of her being a virtuous woman,
mm,
her being a woman of good moral character, not only
mm,
beautiful on the outside, but beautiful on the inside. When she was in my life, you know what I'm saying? Well, rather centered to my life, when she came into my life, it took me to another level, man. It definitely helped me to elevate in my thinking.
right.
She actually challenged me, to think bigger,
Right. Right.
you know what I'm saying, to do better. You know what I mean? And she actually was the one who taught me about, real estate and helped me to learn financial strategies, because I didn't know anything about equity, in the house, man. I knew nothing about that. It was
Wow.
my queen who actually was the one who into that. You know what I mean? Would you agree that a woman, a good woman, a virtuous woman does add to your life?
Yeah, yeah, she's an incubator, you know, and whatever you give her, she's gonna multiply. You give her a word, she's gonna give you a sentence. You know, you give her groceries, she's gonna give you a meal. You give her a house, she's gonna give you a home. You give her hell, she's gonna give you frustration.
Yeah, man.
Hey, so hey, you seen it come through the comments, make me know it. But
No doubt.
yeah, that it's that added balance and that other side of you that where you need to feel. Because sometimes we can be so emotionally drained or go through all the chaos in life that we become numb to the things that's going on around us. So it
That's
just
right.
brings out another part. And you before I mentioned about your queen, virtuous woman, that's very, very important, that she understands and knows her value and understands her role and how powerful she is. And that
That's
in itself multiplied you and, added to your engine, added to your skill set. So, all praises to her and the Most High for doing that and
straight.
introducing you guys, bro.
Well, all praises be, man. My queen and I are certainly humbled and honored to have been able to pour into you and your queen life. And I give thanks for you forwarding us that opportunity to be able to share wisdom with you. And again, I commend you on that. And unfortunately, most of us are not like that.
Mm,
So to me, you're rare. Um, with that being said, you
right.
know what I mean. And so with that being said, man, let's talk about this wonderful book that you have out, man. Because we want to give people what they came on here for. So Taylor, for Success.
Mm,
How did you come up with the name of that book? What
man.
what what was the backdrop to that title being used?
Man, first of all, I'm from Oakville, Alabama, you know, the home of Jesse Owens and our great grandfather, Babe Ruth Taylor. And that's how it all started, the ancestors, coming over, being off his dad off the ship, but he was a leader and he made things happen in the community. And his last name was Taylor. He had 17 kids, and in the midst of the 17 was my grandmother.
Oh.
Yeah, my grandmother. And grandma had 9 herself, and then she had my mom.
Wow.
Yeah, and then mom made a poor choice, and my uncle ended up raising us. His last name was Taylor, and their family was Taylors. My best friend was a Taylor that was my mentor. So I was like, yo, I don't have the money, and I can never repay you guys back. So I just dedicate a book to you guys and take the life strategies that I learned. So I've been tailored how to walk out this marathon life. Life's a fight for territory. And when you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want is going to take over unconsciously. So, the Bible said the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, but the violence take it by force. And that let me know that the kingdom is not for crybabies. So everything that I learned while doing and going through life was growth. And also, I understand I have their spirits, their attitudes rumbling on the inside of me, So, though I speak a tongue of man and of angels, that scripture, I understand that, taking the ideas and the strategies from our history, because you don't know who you are, you don't know who you not. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah, and if you don't know who you're not, people gonna always take advantage of you, man. And meeting you in that state that I was in, I was in that situation for 8 years, bro.
Wow.
Just mentally dead, sleepwalking through life. Just like in the book of Ezekiel, you know what I'm saying? The valley of the dry bones. When people think of the valley of the dry bones, they think of death, you know what I'm saying? But that's a metaphor talking about a people. And you always heard that the richest place on the planet is the graveyard. So they said they're walking around dead in their graves. So, you got to meet somebody that's going to bring you to your higher self, and that's going to wake you up so you can begin to take those skeletons and put meat on their bones, and then you'll be tailored to walk it out.
Wow. That's amazing. I like that because dealing with relationships too, man, some people don't fit in your life because they weren't tailor-made in heaven to suit your life. So they don't fit in your life because of that. And from what I'm hearing from you is that you have gained some wisdom, knowledge, and understanding about life. Because one thing I notice about you, I listen to your videos and your queen also, and I noticed that you talk about the mind a lot. And one thing I always say is that we live the way we think.
Right.
So, let's talk about the importance of a transformed mind. How did you get to this point in your life to where you see so much of the importance of a person having a positive mindset? Let's talk about your journey. What got this man of wisdom that we know today to this point where he's at today. And also, I want to send a shout out to Queen Denise Muhammad in the building.
Hey.
She deals with health, family. She deals with the essential oils. Also, she deals with credit. So if you want to fix your credit, please ensure that you reach out to our good sister, Queen Denise Muhammad. She'll get you right.
Man, again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Well, the mind, first of all, the 6 inches between your ears, man, that's the battlefield, man. And everything that healing first takes place in your mind. And your feet can never take you where your mind has never been. And Jesus said, repent, for the kingdom is at hand. Everybody's always, running and want to run to the altar and confess what they got going on, but they just that's the fruit of it, but they're not getting down to the root, which is change your thinking, change your thinking, change your world, change your thinking, change the reality that's in your world. The kingdom is at hand. A new way of doing things is here. And kingdom, everybody preached what Jesus did, but not what he preached. You know, kingdom works. Kingdom is a mentality. Kingdom is a mindset. Einstein said the level of thinking that has gotten me here has brought along problems that this thinking cannot solve, which furthermore lets me know that you cannot solve a problem in the same state in which you enter into that particular problem. So our best thinking is the result of the actions and you know, and the habits that we have going on. So we have to change our habits.
That's
Poverty
right.
is not a location, you know,
That's right.
it's a mentality and how you think.
That's right. And the kingdom is within us.
Mm.
You know, you're absolutely right about that. The kingdom is within. He said, doesn't come from with observation, righteousness, peace, joy, in the spirit, right?
Right.
That's the kingdom, right?
Ooh, make me know it. Make me know it.
We have to take dominion. You know,
Right.
so I think about it, you know, you have that title king, and then, you know, now it's called kingdoms works, you know, so kings take dominion. So what I'm seeing is, and what I'm hearing is that you're a king that believes in taking dominion and being fruitful and multiplying. You know, so let's talk about that. You know, how does one get to the place like yourself? Because you have a powerful story. I recall you talking about how at one point at the age of 35 years old, you couldn't even read. Now, tell us about this journey, because here, and this is phenomenal to me, because you had a man who couldn't even read, and yet he's an author now. Oh man, you know, let's talk about this journey, you know, to the man now who is well educated, well spoken, a speaker, you know, and helping others now, mentoring others, helping them. And you even pointed me in the right direction, how to get a book done. So let's talk about that.
Man, so Amari, I'm at the worst point in my life. I just lost everything. I'm 35 years old. I'm going through a divorce. I got baby mama drama. I just got a car repo. Just lost my house. I just lost everything. So everything's falling apart around me. But prior to all of this going on, I meet another guy that put me on journaling, and that was the best thing ever happened to me. So I just started listening to a whole lot of videos and just taking notes, and then rewriting them and read them, rewrite them and read them, and then I formed a habit. You know what I'm saying? And the importance of being able to sustain when you understand that life's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. What do you do during that 1 step back? That's the fundamentals that you have set up for your life. So being that I was consistent in my due diligence as far as wanting growth and focusing on the growth. And man, and after 21 days, you know, habits form. And then if you remain focused and consistent in doing that, and then now you forming more habits, you're adding to your tool belt. So I just began to set goals, and then I just began to have strategy. So and then I just started reading, and I was like, OMG, downloaded the app and typed in everything that I was writing down, and then I just started reading it back to myself. Because you know what you tell yourself is going to speak back to you. You got the spoken word. So you know, if you're in a certain type of state, you got to know that this situation did not come to stay, but it come to pass. But the only way it will come to pass, you got to believe that it will come to pass. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Yeah, put me on the right
My
path,
brother said
man.
it didn't come to stay, it come to pass.
Yeah. And Paul said, forgetting those things which are behind, reaching forward to what lies before. But if you don't have no direction before you, then you're going to stay stuck behind.
I like that. I like that. Now, this is powerful, man. So, you know, as you and I discussed, let's leave them without excuse on the day, brother. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about this man who we know now who's such a fighter, because you don't look like what you've been through.
Uh-oh.
You know, you've been through a lot of wars, you know, in your life, relationship wise, and you know, coming from a broken family. You know what I'm saying? So this is a whole man I'm seeing today. This is a very well polished king I'm seeing today. You know, this is a veteran that I'm looking at today. I'm hearing today in mental warfare, spiritual warfare. You know, I can tell by, you know, the content of your messages that you are one who has, and via your testimony, you're one who has been through a lot. So let's talk about, this man now that we see that's shining as a knight, who's conquered, these obstacles in his life.
Man, shout out to my mother, my grandma, and my aunts. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I stand before you, Reginald Orr, Kingdom Works Orr. But as I stand, I got the whole community. We all standing. And then if you don't stand for something, you're gonna always fall for anything.
That's
And
right.
it was no structured males around. So I knew what my fight was about. My mom 14, daddy 21, never around. You know what I'm saying? And then I go around my aunts, they got the same condition going on. And then the males that's in the family, they doing their thing. They trying to sustain the family, but they got their own things going on. So division, restore mankind back to its authenticity, fix the man. How you gonna fix the man? You gotta fix what's absent. You know what I'm saying? Born a statistic, like you said, there's no excuse. I got her spirits. A lion and an eagle is what I think about. And the grand creator, that's who he identified with. And that spirit has always been inherited in me. And losing a basketball game and just telling myself I'll never lose again. So focus and consistent. That's it. Focusing and being consistent, man, and remaining in that. But Amari, it has been a fight, crossing a lot of muddy waters. But it's your attitude while you're going through all those situations. It's not what's going on. What are you going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? So that's the state of mind I've always had. So whatever people do or whatever comes at me, I know I'm going to always get through it because I saw my people get through it. You know what I'm saying? So coming out on the other side, it's a valuable thing, but you just got to remain in faith. Faith is being able to move in the dark. That's your vision, not knowing that you're going to get to the other side, taking that seed, a divinely given resource that has an invisible assignment to prosper you. But how are you going to prosper if you're not growing that seed, if you're not watering that seed? Not tested, can't be trusted. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man. So what I'm hearing is you got to put in the work to make it work, because faith without works will not birth the vision or the dream. It will not bring it to life. And so one will transition with the vision and the dream, and they're dying with it, and now it's dead.
Come up out of your grave. Right. And
I like this, man, because it sounds like to me that your mindset will either set you back, set you forward, or set you up.
Wow.
Your mindset.
Wow.
So now we got to flip-flop that. Now we have to set our minds now.
Right.
We have to set our minds on heavenly things. Whatsoever man treasures is, that's where his heart is.
Oh, that's deep.
That's where your heart is at.
Right.
So what is it that we meditate on the most? And I hear you talking about that. Kingdom living, being one who's taking dominion. Right. So let's talk about this, because again, Brother Reggie, you and I, we had a powerful discussion, and that, as I foresaid earlier, we're going to leave them without excuse. Okay. Right. Because see, now we have a brother who came from a broken family. Okay. Now remember, there's children involved in this too. Now, now you got children as well. You're a father, as well. Okay. So now let's deal with these. How did you deal with these stresses of life? I mean, you had to deal with your past. Then not only does Reginald have to take care of himself, he has children he has to think about. You know what I'm saying? So how did you balance this out in your life? Okay, I got to deal with myself. Then I got to rear my children up, and I'm still trying to grow up in my mind. Let's talk about that.
Man, Jesus said, foxes have holes, birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Who has the capacity for the downloads that the grand creator is going to give you? So, to much is given, much is required. I hear you say that a lot. So, man,
I
um,
say.
having to going through that process was really, really, really tough because one, sometimes we could be dealing with our past and be done with our past, but our past is not done with us. And what I mean by that, the baby mama aspect of it, it was real, real tough because for that man out there that's having to start over, or man, because I was having babies while having babies on the baby. So
Wow.
yeah, so you're gonna have to mature. You're gonna have to mature in your mind because it's like Amari, you're sitting at the table. Goddess is sitting at the table. Your queen is sitting at the table. We got this pretty little chihuahua that comes in. Everybody's gonna think he's cute at first, but
Mm-hmm.
when he start raising his leg up and using the bathroom on everybody, you gonna have to tame that dog. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing, man, it was rough, and
Point
fighting
taken,
that,
brother. Point
knowing
taken.
that the men that I grew up with, they were all good men, but they all suffered from the same thing. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That dog running around pissing on everybody. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm,
I'm I'm
mm,
I'm having to tame that dog first. So you got to tame that dog and that dog. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And first of all, I had to isolate myself. I had to work on Reggie and become Reginald. You know what I'm saying? Taming that dog and just growing mentally. And then all the things that I didn't want no more in my life, you know what I'm saying? I started creating a whole new type of life. I took the
mm-hmm,
skill set, even though those people was doing what they was doing to me while I was employed, but I always had the motto, give them what they want while you get what you need. You know what I'm saying? So
mm-hmm,
I know I was trying to get a state of mind. I know I was trying to get in a position where God could set me up for the blessing and try to build a financial wall around my family. So I just learned everything I needed to learn from them. That's how I was able to write the book, because I took
mm-hmm,
the Bible said the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous, and the meek
mm-hmm,
shall inherit the earth. So first of all, you got to have a whole lot of discipline, and also you got to take what they teach you and you got to master it, and then go teach it and learn it, and then start your own. But we
mm-hmm,
don't do that. We get so caught up in the job, just go
mm-hmm,
broke, as opposed to working the work that God sent us here to do. Jesus said, I must work the work of the one who sent me. You know what
mm-hmm,
I'm saying? So I already knew what I wanted, which was my will to continue to get my family back. So I just used that as my mental muscle and continue to build my mental muscle to get me to the state of mind that I am. And
mm.
I just thank God for that and being strong to endure.
Now there's a phrase, and that was powerful. That
Uh-oh.
was very powerful, very informative and empowering. There's a phrase you always use about the man being in position in the household.
Mm.
Talk to us about that, because you always say that as long as a man is in the place of the household, that everything else will fall in place. So talk to us about, why do you feel that to be true from
Well,
your experience? Why is that such a reality for you? Why are you so passionate about that statement when you make that statement?
man, because I know what type of I was a grown boy at one point. Paul said when I was a child, I acted like as such. But when I become a man, I put away childish things. So when I grew in my mind and when I grew up, things around me started to change because I had a whole different perspective. And I found balance, and I was able, and when I found balance, the people around me found balance. My mother, I found balance with that. I was able to deal with my father and forgive my father. So now we got balance. So now I'm getting big wisdom from mom and I'm getting wisdom from dad. So now I can spill that wisdom over to my daughters. And even though we're not all in the same household, they put me the wisdom that they're sharing with me puts me in a state of mind where I can share it with the kids. And also we have our own relationship. So when you become a man, or when you grow up, things around you grow up.
Wow, wow. Now, you are without excuse because of your past with your father.
Mm,
If you don't mind sharing some of that with us, because what I recognize is that you are a man without excuse. Like, you didn't use your absence of a father as an scapegoat from the responsibility of your children. When you and I spoke, when we met, your children have always been a point of concern with you. And for that, my brother, I salute you, King Salute.
thank
Because a
you.
lot of us don't do that. A lot of us don't man up. And that's why a lot of our women are struggling so much by themselves. And some of the lame excuses I hear, well, my daddy wasn't there.
Right.
And, so I'm not a good father because my father wasn't a good father to me. You know, um, brother, help us to understand, why do you feel like it's so important for a man to be present in his daughter and son life?
Man, the absence thereof. I mean, like I remember sitting at my grandma's house, always waiting. That she had one of them old timey clocks, like I don't know, it was old, and it made a certain type of noise, and the doorbell rung a certain type of way. And I remember always going to my grandma's house as a little boy, waiting on my dad to come through the door, or being at home waiting on him to show up. And as I grew and as I got older, I was just like, you know what? No matter what happens in my life, I'm gonna always be present in my kids' life, even if the baby mamas are acting crazy. I'm still gonna be present. I'm still gonna do what I gotta do because I understand how I felt, and I know, you gotta think about how you was feeling at the time of when the age that your kids are, how you was feeling in that moment. And I knew how I was feeling. And I didn't want them to feel like that. So I always made sure I stayed in contact with them. And I always made sure I was on that road, seeing them every time possible, to let them know, no matter what, daddy's always going to be here and daddy's going to always
Mm,
have your back.
mm. You
Yeah.
know, King, I wanted you to share that because I hear our queens crying out
Right.
for us to take our rightful position, not
Mm,
to be tyrants,
right.
but just simply to be a king and take dominion and be fruitful and multiply and work with them as a family.
Right.
And I too can relate because
Mm,
my father was absent in my life too. And when my son was born, brother, you know, I had tears of joy, man. You know what I'm saying? I could never imagine abandoning my son and to inflict that same mental trauma and the same heartache
right.
and pain that I went through when my father had left my mother and I.
Man. Man.
And brother, I don't do what I do because my father was not present.
Right.
I do it because I love my son. As kings, man, you know, we have to understand, what I'm saying, that is our responsibility to handle our responsibilities.
Mm. That's
It's
deep.
our responsibility
That's
to help
heavy.
take care of our responsibilities
Man.
because we help to create
Right.
these children,
Right.
and it's our responsibility to protect our women,
Mm.
you know, and to ensure that we, even if we're not with the mother,
Right.
that is no excuse for us not to handle our responsibility because those children are our responsibility.
Right.
And I wanted our queens to hear that because so many of our sisters today are wounded. So many of them are mentally traumatized. So many of them are struggling
Right.
every single day.
Right.
Okay, because the men are being absent and they're abandoning ship and using all these lame excuses. So I want them to hear it from you because your light is shining, man. Brother. And I just want to commend you to keep on doing what you're doing, man. Because that book that you have, Tailored for Success, man, I believe it's also a blueprint. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a blueprint, man, to help, you know, our households to be able to, you know, get to the place that we need to be in order for us to have a strong family structure.
Man.
You know, so let's talk about the importance of family to you. Why is it so important for family?
Man, was real crazy. I was real good in sports. So I mentioned it in the book. So depending on the season, you know, I stay with Caucasians. So one thing I can say, they're very family oriented. Like, you know, yo, we're gonna sit at the table, we're gonna eat at the certain time, we're gonna, you know, they discuss things that we don't discuss in our household. And I, from observing both households, basketball season, I stayed with one bunch, football season, I stayed with another bunch, but they were on the same clock and they were all ticking the same way. And I was like, So I was able to pick that up, you know, and I was like, wow, that was missing in my world. You know what I'm saying? So I want that reality. So, you know, I the journal again, writing down what I wanted, you know what I'm saying, and not stopping at that, you know, just to find balance anyway to get everybody in that same in the same building, you know, in the same place, you know. So that's a goal, and we got families spread it everywhere, but we've all gotten in contact with each other recently. So I'm grateful for that. Like our granddad, he's still living, which is, you know, my mom's dad. They're in Chicago. We connected, you know, and then grandma's in Alabama, and we connected. So we just trying to find a way where we all can come together, and that's gonna be a humongous thing when that happens.
Indeed, man. Brother Michael Neal, he said, love to see Black men lift up and encourage each other and taking responsibility for family and their women.
Wow.
And I can definitely salute that king because I know him personally. That's my big brother,
Right.
Michael Neal. Wassalam alaikum, my brother. Thank you
What's
so
up,
much for tuning in, big brother. I love you, man. Thank you for your continued support. And that brother is truly a father to children that he actually birthed in this world, and also children he didn't even birth, and he's taking those children in as his children.
man?
So sisters, this is for you today too. This man I have up on the screen, I just have to take a pause for a moment because I have to celebrate kings like this who has taken on that responsibility. I need for some of you queens to hear this before you abandon ship and think that it's better on the other side.
Wow.
I need some of you queens to listen on this evening before you abandon ship and before you go to the other side. Because I want you to understand that the European man and woman alike has done our people wrong. So I'm praying that you will keep in mind the atrocities that we have suffered under their hand. I want you to be very cognizant of what you're listening to today, because today we're here to debunk that lie that there is no good African men and that we don't love y'all. That's just not true. Some of our brothers are mentally traumatized, and it's obvious to me because a lot of you are some beautiful souls out there, and you do deserve to have a good man.
Right.
But that man can't be a good man if he don't have a good heart.
Ooh, wow.
This is what I need some of you all to understand, and that the African man has been emasculated too because of what we went through during slavery. All of us are messed up because of slavery, and family, we need to come together and heal together.
Right.
Not separate. We need to come together. Because the family is dysfunctional right now because we're divided. So it cannot happen if we abandon ship on each other and keep pointing the finger at each other, we all need to be healed. All of us have been broken. All of us have wounds. All of us need to heal. And the remedy to our ailment is certainly not separation. It's certainly not separation. It's only unity. Brother,
That's good.
you're a king that has found a queen. You've been through a lot of things in relationships. And I've known you all the way up until this point where you found the queen that is suitable for the direction that your life is going in. Talk to us about why it's so important to make sure us as men, are prepared for the queen when she comes.
Man, because most of them, Amari, I can go back to 2004, and I'm dating this young lady. It's in the book. I'm dating this young lady, Amari. We about to get married. She's being raised by a single mother, but it's not a father in the building. So you gotta understand that, you know, when we meet folks, we're fighting they daddy's devils and they mama's daddy's devils. But her mom didn't want her to date me. She wanted her to date this guy that had a family with both parents together. But at the time, I ain't understand that, you know, I didn't have the money that he had. I ain't understand the type of job, and I ain't understand the type of setup that she was wanting for her daughter. So I had to go through life. It's 20 years ago, Amari, and the question that woman asked me, "What did you get my daughter for Christmas?" That question birthed Taylor for Success, because I was on the quest to find out why that woman didn't want me in her family. You know what I'm saying? And but instead of her setting me down and teaching me, instead of her telling me, she was dealing with some old wounds, evidently, because you wasn't woman enough to talk to me. Instead, you poured a bandage off wounds that I was already dealing with. So that tore me up, you know, mentally. So now I'm like, man, my mama don't left, my girl that I'm about to get married don't left. So I'm gonna do all you women in. So like you were saying about healing mentally, OMG, if they don't heal, it's irrelevant for the man to even be in the house, because he's gonna have that whole house upside down. It's gonna be dysfunctional, hurt people, and your queen is gonna be miserable. So therefore, you're gonna be miserable. So the importance of it, you gotta fix yourself. You gotta come into your identity. You gotta know who you are. You gotta know your position and your role in the household. You know, in Genesis, God never sent rain on the earth. Why? Because there was no man to till it. There was no man to work it. So God don't give us what we pray for. He gives us what we can manage. So when you grow up and leave that grown boy state and enter manhood, he'll send you your queendom. So now you can have queendom, and as you say, have dominion.
Absolutely, man. Well said. I totally concur with that right there. So, family, you know, in closing, I want Brother Reginald, I want you to, talk about your book, and also, you know, what you want people to take away from the book.
All right, man. Taylor for Success. How to walk out this marathon. Life's a fight for territory, and when you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want is going to take over unconsciously. Like I said, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, but the violence take it by force. That lets me know that the kingdom is not for crybabies. And I'm speaking to the single mom. My mom was 13, had me at 14. She didn't abort me. I'm talking to that child that had to become a man at 7 years old. It don't matter. The eldest child do have responsibilities, but I promise you, there's a message in your mess. There is a testimony in your test that you are going through. I'm talking to that 13-year-old boy that had to take an uneven trade because his mom made a poor excuse. Now you got to move in with another family. You make the rules. Now you got to follow rules. That's who I'm talking to. That child that always had to adapt, but always continue to press through. I'm talking to that high school star that's getting ready to play a big game. The football coach is messing with one of the kids' parents and gets you suspended because you get into it with somebody. I'm talking to that person that can't read but good in sports and they keep passing you anyway. I'm talking to that college guy that just basically had to survive, took all his gifts a long time ago, learned how to cut hair, learn how to beat on garbage cans, but took those skills and just kept it moving anyway. I'm talking to that dysfunctional man that's all over the place, that's a womanizer, sleep with anything that's crawling. I'm talking to that promiscuous woman. You can change, you can become better. I'm talking to that failed marriage. And especially talking to that guy who's working for a major company and they pimping you and you like OMG, or they trying to seduce you with money. Trust me, I promise you, the Bible says, seek first the kingdom and all that'll be added. Become valuable. When you become valuable, people will listen. When you become valuable, you become seasoned and you can walk out this marathon life no matter what comes up against you, whatever the opposition is, you're going to be able to get to the other side, climb up on top of it and just keep it moving. You're going to be tailored. So whatever comes your way, you'll be able to take your shirt off and do your physique. You will be ready to walk out this life. Go get the book. Go get the book. Go get the book. Goddess, drop the link. I know you on here. Drop the link. Let them know it. Make them know it. Get the book. I promise you, when you get the book, you're going to learn how to rule. You're going to learn how to use your imagination. You're going to learn how to teach. You're going to be an entrepreneur. You're going to find your purpose. You're going to find your vision. And you're going to be able to do everything needed to continue to walk out life.
And there you have it, family. Again, it's yours truly, the CEO of Synergetic Network Group, LLC, where we are your community liaison for entrepreneurs and consumers, helping families to build generational wealth via business and investment. And on SNG Highlight tonight, again, we have yours truly, the Tailored for Success author, Reginald Orr. Make sure you go get your copy on the day. I got mine. I provided the information right there. You can purchase yours on Amazon. And I promise you, once you finish reading it, your life will be tailored for success. Again, for my queen, Amari, and my queen who is the executive director, we want to thank you all for your love and support. Please ensure you put your business information out there in the comment block so we can support you. And remember, nobody can support a business that they don't know anything about. Peace.
Peace.